All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to unpack a really wild, radical new idea for how an entire society could be run. It's not another ism like capitalism or socialism. Its creators call it something different, a new operating system for civilization itself, and it's called Maxocracia.
But why even think about something so drastic? Well, to get there, you have to start with a pretty unsettling question. What if the basic assumptions our whole world is built on, our economy, what we value, how we define success, what if all of it is based on things that just aren't true?
So, according to the theory behind Maxocracia, our modern world is running on three fundamental lies. They call them no-truths. And we're not talking about little white lies here. These are seen as deep, systemic flaws that are the root cause of so much injustice and, frankly, inefficiency.
So let's break them down. First, there's the inequality of time. This is the idea that an hour of, say, a CEO's life is somehow intrinsically worth more than an hour of a farmer's life. Next, the perverted purpose. This is the belief that our grand collective goal as a species is to just pile up enormous amounts of wealth for a very, very small number of people. And third, and this one is huge, dehumanization. This is the lie that lets us treat other human beings like cogs in a machine, as resources to be used and discarded.
So Maxocracia is pitched as a new societal OS, one that's designed from the ground up with like a built-in antivirus for those no-truths. Its core principle isn't political or economic. It's just one simple, unwavering thing: loyalty to verifiable truth. The whole idea is to build a system on what is real, not just on what's convenient or profitable.
Okay, but how on earth do you build a whole society on truth? What does that even look like? Well, the first step is a big one. You have to completely redefine value itself. Instead of using money, which is really just an abstract idea, this system says we should use the one resource that's real, finite, and totally universal for every single one of us.
And this right here is the heart of the shift. On one side, you have money. It's an abstract concept, right? We can always print more of it. But on the other side, you have time. Time is concrete. It's real. Every second that ticks by is gone, forever. It is the one thing you can never, ever get more of.
In this system, the fundamental unit of value is called TVI. That stands for indexed vital time. And this is a really fascinating concept. It's not just an hour. It's the idea that every moment is unique like a fingerprint. The hour you spend as a kid learning to ride a bike is a totally different, unrepeatable TVI than the hour you'll spend reading a book when you're 60. And if every moment is fundamentally unique, then by definition, no one's time can be more valuable than anyone else's.
And to really let that sink in, look at this number. If you live to be 100 years old and you subtract all the time you're asleep, you're left with about 584,000 conscious hours. That's it. That's your entire life's budget to spend. When you see your whole existence boiled down to a finite number like that, you start to realize how unbelievably precious every single one of those hours really is.
So if time is our new currency, how do you price anything? Well, Maxocracia proposes a new way to measure the true cost of everything we make and do, and it's called the vital footprint.
It's calculating with something called the VHV, the vital footprint vector. Think of it like a true cost label on everything. It has three parts: T for the total human time invested, V for the impact on all life, and that's not just humans, that includes animals and ecosystems, and R for the non-renewable resources consumed. All of a sudden, all the hidden costs that we currently ignore are right there in plain sight.
I know, that's still a bit theoretical, right? So let's make it really, really simple. We're going to take something you can find in any kitchen and see how this VVH thing actually works in the real world. Let's compare two eggs.
Okay, so in our system today, the industrial egg is cheaper, right? But that's because the price tag is effectively lying to us. When we look at its VHV, the whole story flips. The life cost is sky high because of animal suffering. The resource cost is huge because of the industrial feed and energy needed. The ethical, free-range egg might take a bit more direct human time, sure, but its true cost to life and the planet is way, way lower. So here's the kicker. In a Maxocracy, the ethical egg would actually be the more economical choice because its price would reflect its true lower vital footprint.
So what would a society that uses this kind of true cost accounting actually look like? Well, the proposal outlines a new social contract, one that's structured into two separate spheres. One is designed for universal security, and the other is an engine for human progress.
So on one side, you have the floor of vital dignity. Think of it as the ultimate safety net. Your housing, healthcare, food, and education are all guaranteed just because you exist. Your basic survival is completely separated from your work. Then you have the sphere of investment and return. This is a totally voluntary space. It's where you can choose to invest your personal time, your TVIs, to innovate, to create new things, to contribute. And for that, you earn rewards, giving you access to things that go beyond the basics.
Now, when you put all of this together, it leads to some incredibly ambitious, almost utopian goals. The people behind Maxocracia argue that once we optimize our society around truth and stop wasting our collective time and resources, humanity could achieve some truly incredible things.
And we're talking about huge, species-level goals, things like curing all diseases, completely restoring the planet's ecosystem, becoming a star-faring civilization. They even talk about becoming what physicists call a Type 2 civilization. That's a civilization that can harness all the energy from its own star. The ultimate goal is nothing less than to organize our entire society for maximum possible prosperity and happiness for every single person.
But, and this is a really big but, the entire system hinges on one single thing: radical, total transparency. And that leaves us with a final, really difficult question. Could we, as human beings, actually function that way? Or is the psychological cost of knowing the absolute, unfiltered truth of our impact on the world simply too high for us to bear?